Yo, what is going on, everybody? So, welcome back to the 13th episode of the Sports Talk Podcast. I have my special guest FWA on for the first hour of the show. So, we're basically just going to talk Phillies baseball. And that's pretty much what this is going to be covering. So,
Mhm.
if anyone is interested, checking out my other things, I have all of my social links down in the description. Also, my if anyone wants to cop merch, that's also in the description as well. So, well, yeah, without the most plugs out of the way, let's hop right into it. So I know
Mhm.
you and I kind of talked about this too because I made a rough take on Aaron Nola's struggles, and a lot of people say that I was crazy about it. Say I try to look at the bigger picture this way. Like if he doesn't really figure out how to put hitters away and not lose it at the end of games, it's like it's how much longer are we going to have to deal with his inconsistencies to put hitters away on in 0-2 counts? Basically, just do what a major leaguer is supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, definitely Nola has struggled with that this year, and you can see by his numbers. I just think it's something going on mentally with him. I think that it's not anything big, it's not anything huge. It's not anything that's going to destroy his career. I just think he's trying too hard with two strikes because the defense is so bad. He just wants to put them away. So I get why some people would have that view. I just think I see the same picture that I've always seen in 2018, 2019, 2020. It's just he's trying too hard. And I definitely think he can figure it out.
I think so as well because I already took down the video because it's like it was just a rough take that I wanted to share, but it's like it really didn't really fit the idea. But the way that I see it is just like you said, it could be mental, and also you just think too, like 20, and that it's hard to get back to from 2018 to 2020, even though 2020 last season was a shortened season. So it's just so hard to go off by a 60 game schedule. So like with this season, like you can basically give an idea of where Nola is at this point in time. But I think, and Broads brought a good point, a good thing too with Nola is just like he has like between Nap and Real Mutual. Like like the numbers might be different, but when it comes to like actual production, Real Mutual has provided that production behind the plate for Aaron when Aaron Nola starts, and I've just been seeing it throughout all social media where they're praising Andrew Knapp, like and all that because it's like I was never a huge fan of Andrew Knapp because outside of Real Mutual, like who do you have as a solid backup? You really don't.
Yeah. Um with Andrew Knapp, I think you do have to give him credit for the game yesterday. You do have to give him partial credit, but
Oh
yeah, it's just he's good in the clubhouse. He's good with the players. He's good with Zach Eflin. He's good with Nola, but he's so bad with a bat. Like you just
yeah,
need to look at his numbers and say, "Hey, I know how bad Marshawn has been in the minors, but at some point you need to call him up because you can't deal with just automatic outs every single at bat."
yeah, that's true. And it's just like, and also Knapp's also sometimes liable on defense as well.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
take last night for example. Like first of all, like why would you like? And it's just like I'm just like shaking my head, so like, and I'm not used to be. I'm not okay. Well, literally, I was, but I never learned how the proper techniques. But when I see it, it's like, man, JT can make that look easy, like 100% of the time.
yeah,
But I don't really. And this is also comes into play too. Also, and I'm just like kind of getting sick of this Girardi Sanders. And look, and I made like I never made a Girardi video, but I kind of feel like the majority of the blame you could probably put on this team is the ownership. And
yeah,
I said this twice too. I made two videos about John Middleton. Second one, when I uploaded it, it was more in depth on why I think he was. or why do I think he's a weak and inept and inept owner that he is? Not try to grab the brass ring. I
Yeah.
kind of just put that into perspective where you have all this money, but with the limited payroll and like bigger. And I actually did name one team who actually is not afraid to, and that's the Dodgers. I mean, as you could probably tell with the players that they have, and it's just like you have really and Philly's a big market too, and the fact you can't go over it kind of shows how I'm just showing like you really don't care. Um, I don't think what that's. I don't think I think we need to do what with the will. I don't want to make this comparison, but kind of how the Wilpons tried to sell the Mets, and obviously get Steve Cohen on the and then obviously look what happened to the Mets. That
Yeah.
really needs to do the same thing for us, and look, I mean, and I'm actually going to go live tomorrow as well. So I'm going to be talking more in depth on the modern age of baseball. Kind of breaking that down. So, um, get that plug out of the way. But I just kind of feel like, I mean, this team is going to have some good talent on paper, but the way that the ownership's going about it, you're not really. It's not helping. Yes, I get it. We had to make some moves at the trade deadline. Getting Kyle Gibson, Ian Kennedy, who's been kind of been really, despite different situations he's been in, but he's been very reliable out of that back end of the bullpen. I'm not going to lie about that, even though I was very critical of it. And even with Hector Neris too, like, and I said this plenty of times, like even with Neris was the closer, it's like this is an automatic loss. But once he got taken out of that closer's role, it's just like he's a different pitcher we're normally used to seeing. And that's having a better high fastball usage, both his sinker and his four seam fastball, which most times synthesize it. And I think this is what's really, I guess, was really helped bring back that confidence. I feel like when he was in the closer's role, his confidence just was shot down, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, you bring up a lot of good points. Hector Neris, I mean, he was good for 2 years in that role, and then he lost it in every single other one. I mean, towards the end, like, he was very good in the beginning of the season. And then his last other appearances, he was just home run, tie game, loss. It was really bad, and his confidence has gone up since he's entered that 2 inning middle relief appearance, and it fixed him, I think.
Exactly, and that's the thing too. I think have him out of that closer's role. I think really helped. I guess just because at one point I saw him say this guy's got good stuff, but I just feel like he's more the setup guy, like the seventh, the eighth inning guy type of guys. Now we're really kind of seeing that to come to fruition after how long he's been there, like 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
And I don't get me wrong though, like I mean he's up on some of the Philly's top reliever lists. I I think he's like second in all time, as a reliever in strikeouts in the Phillies organization as a reliever, which kind of which blows my mind. It's just like, people, and I guess just sometimes, the talent's there, sometimes it may not be, it depends on what version of Neris you're going to get. But now with him, being the seventh, eighth inning guy who can, I mean, you're kind of just getting like his, what he could be if he didn't lose that, not confidence as a closer. In my honest opinion, the way that I see numbers wise.
Yeah. He's been inconsistent. He's been shaky. And I mean, he's played for the Phillies for I don't know how many years. I think it's over 5 though. And he's entering free agency. Think you re-sign him. But, he can't close. I mean, he's proven that he can't close. If you want him
as your setup guy, I mean, the numbers are truly different. But you also got to think too. Neris is 32. Like, how much does he have left in the tank, though? That's the thing. Yeah. If I were the Phillies, I would like to go younger. I mean, I think I would at least keep Ian Kennedy for the next 2 seasons, because I think he's been proven enough to where, no matter ugly the situation is, but he knows how to get out of jams. which is something we haven't really had since. Oh my god! So what? Since Brad Lidge in the early in
Yeah.
2007, 2000, yeah, and that's the thing too. Like Phillies fans have to realize, it's been so long since we had a true closer. I mean, obviously, couple, 2014, 2015. I mean, we had Ken Giles for like a season or two, but we shipped him out to Houston for
Vince Velasquez.
yes. I don't think myself too. It's just like I'm thinking, so why would you do that? Because this guy had like so much high potential, though. Like, because I heard a lot about when Giles coming up through the minors too. Like, this the 100 miles Giles, nickname kind of really stuck. It's just like, and then now he's playing, pitching for the Mariners. It's like, I was like, man,
Hmm. Yeah. So Hector Neris, I mean, he's succeeded in this middle relief. I think if you put him as a setup guy, I think he'll succeed. I mean, I don't think you re-sign Hector Neris for 3 years. Like I think you 1 year, 2 year club option, something like that. Where I mean, yeah, he's climbing up. He's getting older. He's not getting any younger. But the same thing goes for Ian Kennedy. I think he's like 36. So I mean, if you want to go younger, I guess Hector Neris isn't the best option. But I think he's fine in this bullpen.
it is. It's like, and Alvarado too. It's like, and this is the thing too. Like, ever since when we traded for Jose Alvarado, I said, okay, so this is. So I kind of try to look at it from a different, an objective perspective to where it's like, okay, so we're getting like, because nowadays you're relying on bullpen, bullpen arms like are total flamethrowers. So it's like, okay, so we're taking the right step direction to really retinker this bullpen.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I mean we have some decent pieces in the bullpen, which is, I feel like just we need to really, I mean even the starting rotation too. And I mean, obviously we know we have Kyle Gibson for the next season. I don't know how long his contract is.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's really Kyle Gibson, has really made a good, really decent impact since coming to Philly. Something when I wish, God forbid, I would something wish I would have wished, to see Spencer Howard would have been, which is sad to say because it's like if it weren't for those shoulder injuries that and that's what Spencer Howard has, it's like I don't know, it's just like we just kind of like wasted like some sort like basically a potential high talent, and God forbid, I'm really praying that the Phillies don't screw up, Andrew Painter, who I thought it was a very solid pick though, because at one time it's like because I live in South Jersey, so there was some South Jersey names that I really would have hoped the Phillies would have snatched. Solomato's one of them, but unfortunately he grew up as a he loved Pittsburgh sports. Like, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the kid's great. Like because the pitcher coach I used to work with, he worked with him a lot, so that kind of came into play. Chase Petty, I've kept an eye on for a while, Malin High School and all that.
Yeah.
And who else came out of there? Out of the South? That's all I can think of.
I was high on Benny Montgomery.
Benny Montgomery, that's his name. Out of because that's like it's just like and I think and a lot of Phillies fans wanted Benny Montgomery. It's just like
Yeah.
But the way that I see it, it's like our biggest need right now is pitching.
Yeah.
And I have to tell people too. Like if you look at the like different pitchers that have come out of some majority have succeeded, some may not have.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at the people don't understand. Pitching nowadays is more important than ever. Like say maybe let's say 5 years ago, like yeah, you could probably make an argument to snatch a bat out of the draft. But you also got to think too, like nowadays it's like where some star pitchers are really dropping like flies. Take DeGrom for example. Even though I hate the Mets with my life, but he's one of those ones that I really can't hate. Dude, it's like it's superhuman to where what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I've tried to preach this too. Like I remember DeGrom actually going on the IL earlier this season. With the shoulder tightness after he swung the bat. Though And don't get me wrong, though. I mean, DeGrom, it's really surprising how. And that's got to think too. He also came out of Stetson as a shortstop, so I think that's where that kind of comes into play, which is very weird to see, though. Get and that reminds me of Kalen Jansen too, because he used to be a catcher for the Dutch national team in the World Baseball Classic before. Now, kind of one of the dominant closers for the Dodgers, though. It's just like
Yeah.
it's and also so when we were talking about Neris, he's been there since 2014, so kind of being his sixth or seventh season. So it's like we said, he's only 32, and I think Ian Kennedy might be 35, 36. He is 36.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if we re-signed Ian Kennedy. I think of it as I look at the 2022 closing pitcher free agents. I see a lot of big names.
And it's also a shortstop heavy class too, along with that too.
Mm-hmm.
So we also got to think too, like maybe I don't think the Bryson Stott's probably not going to be ready until maybe 2023. I might be wrong on that. If he can start, and obviously we all know that Bryson Stott is killing it in the minors, so there's a possibility where he actually might get called up sooner than we should expect it. But I'm trying to take this into consideration to where, like, say if Stott is not ready and Didi can't. I mean, obviously, also Didi's getting older too, so it's just like, well, I mean, the only ones that I are keeping my eye on is Carlos Correa and Trevor Story, because who else? I'm trying to think who else is out there in the shortstop class, but that's only the two bigger names. Because I mean, Trevor Story, because how bad the Rockies are, of mismanaging the star players. Obviously, we all know what happened to Arenado.
Should have traded.
That's like
should have traded Story.
Yeah, exactly. And he I think Story came out and said, he was not happy of not being traded.
Yeah.
Hey, my buddy Big Play Slay is he's another content creator on the channel. But yeah, the way that I think, I don't know, honestly, I kind of want Correa more than Story. As much as I hate to say, but I think Correa can bring a lot more to the table, and the reason why I say that because I feel like I know Trevor Story is a good shortstop, but I think Correa brings the speed.
Yeah,
and shortstop, and we've only had a solid shortstop since Jamie Rollins though, which has been that long ago. It's just like it feels like his. There's my other buddy Joe Castro coming into the chat too. We're all out of kids from obviously. These guys are Eagles content creators, so we just they basically cover the Eagles. For me, I'm more diverse, but a little that rambling off to the side. Yeah. I just feel Correa might be the better option. Like I think having a 5-tool shortstop, I really think he really does make a difference. Like I said before, when Kyle Gibson came into Philly in his first start, going 6 innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates, I feel like. We actually seen, and I don't remember ever Kyle Gibson ever having this good of a season in his career. Obviously, you start with Minnesota. For those who don't know, he was drafted the Phillies drafted him out of high school, but obviously he never chose the science. I was like, God damn it, we could have at least had something there.
Yeah,
but I think, at times, it's just but. I just feel like, I guess maybe, he's already got he's already paid out a good career, after, getting out of Missouri, and all that. But yeah, I think the better option, I'm not saying it's a better option, but I think looking forward, down the road, I think maybe the year or 2 years, I would at least keep Kennedy because, and I still remember, and it's funny too, now he's actually, getting up there and his velocity is getting up there, to catch up to the modern day. Because I remember with the Royals, he was like 89 to 92 which throughout his career, and it's like now he's like hitting 95, 96. It's like, where's this been? Like, where has this been? Same with and this is what I think about Aaron Nola too. Is like, I think Nola has the potential to hit the high 90s, but I just feel like he just doesn't really choose to, which is weird to say because I've watched. And don't get me wrong, seeing him and his brother Austin, I thought that was like the coolest moment in baseball, because God, who else? Who was the other? Because I mean, I grew up in in the era where well before that, because I grew up with Ken Griffey. So at one well later in his career though, because I was late '90s, so I wish I could have been born a lot earlier because I would love to see the Griffey the father son duo and all that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of players that I liked on different teams. Uh, Mike Piazza from the Mets, I can obviously relate. At times, I thought about hanging it up, but still going strong 10 years,
Hmm.
10, 11 years later. Um, and that's the thing too. Is just like, and that's the thing too. I've been thinking too. Is like how much Degrom would have left in the tank because if the injury, if he's going to be played for injuries, I think he's. I say give him like the next. I think 5 years could be the max for Degrom. If
Yeah.
maybe 10, if he's lucky, if he stays healthy though. That's I feel like I said before, like that's a stretch. But
Hmm.
I think with the injury, if he can doesn't have the injury bug, I think 5 years is. I think he's going to be his max,
Yeah.
especially with
Uh,
the shoulder and the back problems too.
yeah. That's a tough injury to get if you're a pitcher.
And that's the thing too.
Um.
And like, and I just feel like and I'm not. I actually like Nola, but I just don't feel like I don't because I said this too. It's just like, well, now I actually deleted the video because it's like, it's like, I mean, at this point, it's like, obviously, Zach Lewis kind of the ace of the staff, because I mean, I think Zach Wheeler overall, I think he only has like two bad starts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to say. It's like, this is, I think Nola. I mean, obviously, we know Aaron Nola has been here for 5 years, and we don't know what he can bring too. It's just like, how, I mean, is he going to come over that mental block though? That's the thing too. It's just like also, yeah, I think it too of his the way that he goes about it with his mechanics too. Like he doesn't really. It's not a consistent way he goes about it. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm seeing for like the last couple of years.
Um. Yeah. I mean, you could obviously trade. I mean, saying what you said about the shortstop class, you can maybe try Bowman left. I mean, it can't be much worse than him at third, right?
I mean, I had Frank Close on. He said that could be that's a possibility because you guys
Yeah.
think too. Like McCutcheon is going to be gone this off season.
Hmm.
Who else is elite? I know Odubel's going to be gone. I know everybody wants him gone, and I can.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as I mean, I had high hopes for him when he came up though. But after what happened, was it last year or the year before? I'm
I
not.
think it was the year before.
I think the year before. It's just like I don't know. It's just like I mean, as much as he's because I've remarked, it's just like, and there was a lot of players too. It's like, I mean, at this point, it's just like wouldn't mind trying, and that's the thing too with Bohm is, and I don't know if you ever caught it that he actually sent him back down to AAA. So
Yeah.
me and like other like Philly sports people kind of kind of you know I put it on my Instagram too. So now we're having, and that's another thing too. Like, I mean, and I like Bohm because it's like what he can bring, but the problem is though, it's just like it's the mental part of the game. I mean, I see, I don't know what's wrong with Bohm though. Like anything, like, if it's like any like pop flying in the air, he has no problems of catching that. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like let's just try him in lead to see how that. I
Hmm.
mean, if not, I mean, just could be a trading piece.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mean, we had some third base. I mean, other than the only good short third baseman we had in our franchise was Schmidt. But other than that, you had
Yeah.
what Feliz for a handful of years. Michael Franco, as much as I liked him, but he really never turned
Yeah.
out to what he was supposed to be.
Hmm.
Um, who else was? And yeah, now we have Bone now, and I thought Bone. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't really never watch Bowman play at Wichita State, so I really don't know what to go on. But it's just it just showed, and that's the thing. And I see this too. It's just like even though he got sent down to the minors, I feel like this just I think that should really help him get the kinks
Yeah.
up here. I think it's just more mental than anything else. I mean, I mean, obviously, the numbers may say otherwise. The worst defensive statistics since from a third baseman a handful of
Yeah.
years, which is a
Mhm.
shame, though. What's going on, Key? But I just feel like he just there's something there. I mean, obviously,
Mhm.
with the when he came up, like what's the word I'm looking for here? Obviously, we don't know last year was a 60 game short season, but what
He
he,
was late.
yeah, he was, and then all of a sudden, just I guess just maybe the longer season. I feel like you know, I guess it's just like he has a hard time adjusting to
Mhm.
the and I mean, I'm not going to say from experience, but you know, well, if you look at like the minor leagues is a whole different set of play altogether.
Yeah.
And say with the major leagues, it's like you got to be at the peak. Well, not exactly to the point where like I've seen like some older players like Nato. I mean, he's still at the top of his game in the major leagues. It's like there's some rarities in the majors that who are getting up there in age, but you still produce. Like
Yeah.
I remember, I think a couple of years. When did David Freese retire? Because if you're talking, God, what I think he did retire, but I think and this goes for David Freese, for example. Like when he was with the Dodgers, like if you want to go clutch, if you need a clutch bat off the bench, I feel like David Freese would be my number one option because of his track record.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the St. Louis Cardinals against the Texas Rangers, which I thought that was still good World Series, and I think and Pujols too. Obviously, 42 years old. Slowing down a little bit, but I just have I try to make this argument too. Like, is there a possibility he's going to break the home run record at 762? Is the record, if I'm not mistaken?
How many is he at?
He's right now. He's like 675. So but I'm second guessing myself. There's no way he's going to be staying in the league if he does this. If he's,
Yeah.
it's just like maybe I think I don't know though. It's tough though because it's like, but if and that's the thing too. Like you see with these older players who kind of find the fountain of youth somewhere, like with a new team. I guess the Angels held them back. Which
Mhm.
and that's the thing too. Like the Angels are not a bad team, and they're like us. It's like it's the bad ownership. Artie Moreno just doesn't want to
Oh
do
yeah.
anything. Think about it this way. Trout's not getting any younger. Like
Yeah.
he's just like I was like, what are you doing?
You got Trout, Otani, and Rendon, and you still refuse to get pitching. It's
Yeah,
just
exactly. And now Rendon's out for the year with a hip injury.
yeah. He wasn't producing though.
Yeah, that's true. And you also got that's the thing too. Like yeah, because also Rendon's also obviously what's he's got to be in like in his early 30s. If I'm not mistaken. For Rendon.
Yeah. I think late 20s, early 30s.
Okay, so yeah, so he's he's kind of getting up there in age, but
Mhm.
I just feel like nowadays I feel like just teams need to start getting younger because it's like star player. Well, obviously we all. I mean, actually, Ochani's probably still probably one of the not to say old, but he's still young though.
Yeah. I think he's in his early 20s.
I think it's like 26, 27, or maybe 28.
Let me
I had
Google it.
I got it. I'm confused.
It's not showing up. Hold on. He's 27 years old.
27. Okay,
Yeah.
I
He's in
mean
his
that's
prime.
yeah. Still, I mean you got like what 5 years tops out of
Mhm.
Otani. But if he stays healthy, though, like who knows what a run Otani can do as
Oh,
a two-way
yeah.
player, and that's the thing too. Like, and I've watched Otani for a while, Otani for a while because back in 2014, I stayed up. Oh God, I remember staying up so late for the Nippon Professional Baseball League because with like the Nippon Hand Fighters, and I kept an eye on Kenta Maeda too when he was with who did he play for? Who was this? I know Rakuten was where Tanaka came from.
Hmm.
We got Otani from the Pond Hand Fighters. Where did Kenta Maeda? What was his team? Oh, the Hiroshima Cart. That's what it was. And it's weird now seeing how young some of these Japanese players are coming out of high school. It's like, oh, you're going straight to the MPBs. Like, huh,
Hmm.
interesting. But I said this before. Japanese baseball is all often compared to the minor leagues because of the different style of play.
Yeah.
And this is why I think when it comes to international competition, I feel like Japan's probably going to be one of those. Well, other than Latin America, like the DR, Puerto Rico, Cuba, every now and again, I think countries like those produce a ton of talent. Mostly Latin America, anyways. Because like how often? Because like let's see, I'm trying to think. There's Hideki Matsu. I'm trying to who came here from Japan. Hideo Nomo. I know he, from what I remember, like he kind of just took the world by storm when he came to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Hideki Matsui, I thought he was one of my favorite Japanese players for the Yankees, but all time is Mo Rivera, hands down.
Mhm.
You got Tanaka coming over to the States, Kenta Maeda. Now you got Shohei Ohtani. But Ohtani, for what Ohtani's doing, like we haven't seen over 100 years, so it's
Mhm.
really something special to see. The fact that now he's leading, I think at this point, I feel he's going to have like at least 60 by the end of the season. At this point,
Oof. Yeah. Yeah.
but I said, but there's no. I don't think there's a positive. I think 50, like the 50 plus. I think it's more realistic, but because we don't know how much. Well, obviously, maybe we've got a whole nother month of September, so
Mhm.
could be a possibility. But I just feel like Ohtani. I think if you want to finish the season, let's say 55 is probably going to be the number to break.
Yeah.
But
Mid
the fact
50s.
that Hideki Matsui himself congratulated Ohtani for breaking the most home runs set by a Japanese-born player. I was just what are we seeing right here? These are like video game numbers that he's putting up. Like
Yeah.
it's insane to see what Ohtani has been able to accomplish as a two-way player. Which nowadays is like you don't like. It's rare to see that because like either because in pro or college ball, your other college maybe you may see it because like it's just like I don't know. It's just weird though.
Mhm.
Base pro ball, like I don't think it's either you're one position or you're not. It's like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I just don't know what to think about it because of what Otani's been able to do this season.
Yeah. And going back to the ownership, like the video you posted yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, it
Um,
was yesterday,
John Middleton, he's a terrible owner. I mean, he's got the fifth highest payroll in baseball,
and
and yet it's
you can't go over the tax threshold. Like
mhm, and it can't go over $3 million tax threshold. It's
and people don't
pathetic.
realize it's like 3 million. It may sound a lot, but really, if
Yeah.
you look at it, I think the Dodgers might be paying more for the percentage of the tax threshold. I'm not entirely too
Yeah.
sure on that.
But like he's a billionaire and he's
Exactly.
afraid of $3 million.
It's just like that's like chump change like to
Mhm.
most of these owners. Like and this is the thing too. It's like oh we lost 2 billion. It's like that's going to end a whole fucking franchise.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like I'm
Like
thinking myself,
early in the off season, they were like, we're ready to sell basically. Like they were gonna trade like Wheeler, I heard.
I heard I was like there's no way. I was like think about it this way. Like if you do trade where like as much as I love to shit on Mets fans because this is the Wheeler like Zach and I follow Zach Wheeler too throughout his career. It's like there's high potential there. Even though Zach Wheeler may be up in age in his 30s, but he can
Mhm.
still do it at an elite level to where and I said this too on one of my previous episodes, like is there a possibility he's making the case for the Cy Young at the end of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year? The way
He
that he's
definitely is.
and not to mention like now with DeGrom going down, like as much as I'd like to see, because at one time Zach Wheeler was third at strikeouts between behind Cole. I think at the time before I know Cole was leading the way in strikeouts. Brown was two, and now you got
Mhm.
Zach Wheeler was three. But now you got
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler kind of surpassing both of those with 181s.
Hmm.
It's like what in the world am I? It's like and that's the thing too is it's like the guy's been through what, 2 Tommy Johns in his career, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
It's just like wow. It's just like, and that's the thing too. Like, it was just weird to see. Going through time. Well, for me, not gonna look because I didn't. Well, I never experienced that because, God forbid, I don't.
Mm.
Because I started later in life, so I just started to my early teens. So, thank God for that. So, well, getting that personal stories out of the side, but and this is the thing too. Like even with Tommy John, and I know former players, and I've worked with some former players too. As a pitcher myself. Um, One pitcher goes I worked with. He was out of baseball 2 years because of Tommy John. Like he just wasn't the same. Like the way that he
Mm.
does things, like he had to change his well, not say like a training regimen, but the way that he does things nowadays, it's like where now he's actually years removed from it, but when he first got it in the minors, it's like he's told me he said like it was like the most it was like a confidence it shot his confidence down. It's like you're gonna be out for a certain period of time,
Yeah.
like where you destroyed your UCL, which is like it's just like my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, he came back stronger years later, still going at it. As a college coach, still playing in men's leagues. But yeah, I think, and I was going to criticize MLB too. MLB too is the amount of soft tissue injuries that is like plaguing the major leagues. Rendon with the hip problem, back, shoulder infl. No, wait, I'm trying to think here. I guess maybe DeGrom could probably. It's just like they need to really address that too.
Yeah.
Now I got what's his name? Tyler Glasnow. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Now he had to go through Tommy John because with the stick, and I said that, and I was critical to this too. Like I don't mind with the sticky stuff because it's like think about it because I see what the baseballs look like. Like the seams are so well tight that you can hardly ever feel them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm more accustomed to feeling the low, the well seams compared to like high schoolers nowadays. We use like these racing ones, like they're like literally popping off the baseballs. It's like, but I was more comfortable adjusting to the lower seams. But and I understand why the MLB wants to crack down on it, but you got to realize, like when after Glasnow never used it, like used after like cracking down on it, you can receive injury, injuries to pitchers kind of increasing exponentially because now you've got Glasnow going on the IL for Tommy John surgery. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and look, the only thing I think sticky stuff, like obviously, and we got a Rosenback for a reason.
Yeah.
But the problem is though, like especially for us for the Northeast teams here, because we're obviously where I am, in the tri-state, and all that, like cities like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, especially New York and Boston during the wintertime, like it's hard. And I remember, God, Michael Pineda when he was with the Yankees that one year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I know it's against the rules, but I can understand. I mean, it's just like, I mean, at one time, it's just like it's hard to pitch in cold weather. Take it from me, because this was for my freshman year of high school. Like, we had a preseason against this one team, and it was sleeting. Like, it was super cold to the point where I could not feel the baseball. I
Mm-hmm.
like. I mean, I don't want to say I cheated, but I actually literally had some sticky stuff. Let's just say I've used sticky stuff before, like
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I didn't really use it a lot, but I just use it like how they use like sweat and rosin, so that kind
Yeah.
of thing. So that's what I used. It was sweat, like the old school stuff, not like the spider. And now that I've come to find out that spider tack is also used for body lifting weights, it's like really.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that's the real use for it. But for me, and it's just like at one point, I was like, look, this, and I see, and Pedro actually kind of did. Pedro Martinez actually did a pretty good point. Like the mixture of sweat and the rosin, it's like it gives you that little more of that sticky stuff. It's like and this is why I'm very, and I've never been called a hypocrite, but this is where the hypocritical part of me comes into place. Like if the MLB is cracking down on it, but why are you letting your pitchers still use like the rosin bags and all that stuff? It's like, how what sense does that make?
Mhm.
Like, if it's for like if you're just doing for pine tar and spider tack, fine. But you got rosin bags for a reason. And
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, Trevor Bauer, before all that stuff came out,
Oh yeah.
he made a pretty good point. He used sweat and rosin, and he went like this, and the ball was sticking to his hand.
Yeah, I saw that. Is this illegal too?
Mm-hmm.
This is like, that's like, and I get it. And at times that there's some and I know he's one of the most controversial players out there. Well,
Oh yeah.
one of them, anyways, because you could probably make an argument because even you go back to the steroid era. Yeah, Barry.
Yeah.
And I say this, and I said this, and I made a Barry Bonds video too. So it's like, as much as I don't believe, and I wish I mean, not gonna lie. I mean, Barry Bonds at one point in time in his career was one of the greatest hitters of all time. Yeah. He used steroids, but what he has done, I mean, people don't realize, how good of a player he was. Defensively, he was not that good of a player, but offensively, well, actually, I don't know how good he was defensively. All I know is he started in the early 1986 was. And I still look at picture of him in the Pirates uniform. I was like, there's no way that's Barry Bonds because, like, people nowadays, like, when we associate Barry Bonds, it's like he's big, big and strong. But obviously, with the steroid use and all that, it's just like I don't see the problem, like, because like in the Hall of Fame, because I can remember like Ty Cobb, and I saw he was like one of the most dirtiest players of Major League Baseball history. Had the tendency to spite people, try to purposely injure people. Like, if you're going to have something like that in, I mean, you could at least make a case for both Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I just don't understand. The baseball nowadays, it's like what? It's like, okay, so if you, like, for example, like, if he puts it, wait, is it Sammy Sosa in the Hall of Fame? I don't think he is.
I don't think he is. He might be though.
If he is, like, thinking, like, it's like, okay, you're gonna have like a cheater. And it's like, hello. I mean, look, think about it this way: the entire 2000s was a steroid era. Even A-Rod himself came out and said, he used. I mean, now they're still doing it, but not on a, at the absurd rate that it once was.
Yeah.
And I still remember like the amount of home runs that has been hit in the early 2000s, even in 2017. So in 2017, Brett actually broke that record from the steroid era. I think it was like over 5,000. 20. It's like, god damn. And that's the thing, just like, and I understand why sometimes. I mean, at times I'm very critical of Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred himself. Because I'm actually going to bring up a few points about this too. Because I'm following one independent. With their partnership with different independent teams. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and I remember this too. It's just like they actually announced they're moving their mound back, or the pitching room back a foot. It's like, what am I? I was like, what in the world? And it's the first change since 1893. It's like, what am I? I just feel like Rob Manfred's probably going to kill the game anyway.
Yeah.
But what I do give Rob Manfred credit for is the Field of Dreams game. Because I'll just, I think if you can do that, and now the guys should do it again next year. It's like and that's the thing. It's like other sports, they know how to market their players. Baseball does not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird to see. It's just like who else? Let's see. Who am I trying to think? I'm trying to see, like, football players have like millions like followers on social media. Like Mike Trout, I think one time he was like under 2 million. It's like, I was like, what in the world? It's like you got one of the better baseball, better baseball players, along with Ohtani. Who you're not really you should like at least market around some of the faces of different franchises.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Obviously, Bryce Harper's probably is ours because it's like,
yeah.
But now I think the MVP race is going to be very interesting to watch. It's like who's. I think the surprising one that's making the case is Willy Adames for the Brewers, in my opinion,
Yeah.
anyways, because it's like, oh, I got Kevin Core coming in. There's my buddy Eagles Uncensored. Uh, he's a pretty good Eagles content creator. So anyone like we're my buddy Coach Dante, mostly a Texas fan, but he's a Texans most converted to an Eagles fan, which is funny. But we're good content creators. But I just don't understand why baseball doesn't really MLB doesn't market as well as what up, Coach Dante? Um, not saying like it just doesn't make sense to me. The NFL knows how to market players. Even with now because like for my Philadelphia Eagles, like they're doing like some with the autism awareness challenge, or I think that's what it's called. I don't know what it is because I follow this one guy, one super fan, the Philly sports guy. Like his I actually talked to him a few times. Yeah, a couple people say this kid knows all his Philly stuff. And look, I mean, and that's the thing, and this is the thing too. Like, this is what we had the most knowledge of because I lived on the East Coast for most of my life, so I've been exposed around a lot of Philly sports. So that's where Flyers not as much as I really want to because hockey is is the lead. Well, along with the Union, I'm actually starting.
Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is I'm actually starting to get into the Union. I'm actually starting to like soccer a lot more than people would realize because now I'm actually getting back to be interested in watching hockey again because obviously I don't know if you ever I don't know if you're not. I don't think you're a hockey fan, are you?
No.
Okay,
Really.
so yeah, I mean, I would like. And that's the thing to like with I mean, I'm going a little bit off tangent here, but like say if the Phillies are not playing, the Eagles, Sixers are not playing. It's like fuck. I need my sports fix. I was like, if the Flyers are on, it's like fuck it, I'll just watch them. But now I'm trying to watch them more often because they're playing the Seattle Kraken twice. The Kraken are playing my Flyers twice, which is a shame because it's like I wish they're playing more because actually we got other teams. The Flyers are playing. I just feel like where I don't know, going back to it, it's just like, hockey knows how to market the players.
Yeah.
MLS is now doing a great job of marketing the players. The NFL, the NBA, and who comes up to that last? The Major League Baseball. And I understand why people think baseball is boring because it's like it's like long, like 3 hours, and I think
It's slow.
Yeah. Anyway, it is slow, but it's just like I don't know because like that's how it's been for the last 150 plus years. It's like at one and I've done. It's just like now you got like Trout, who's not getting any younger late, and going back to the Angels, and like you said, ownership. I mean, I think out of the 30 MLB teams, I think two of them have bad owners. I might be wrong on that. It's us and the Angels. But the only difference is we actually know we had to get pitching. The Angels do not.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say though.
I mean, the Phillies have done a good job in getting big players to distract from their weak depth. They have all these stars, and then you're barely over 500 every single year. And last year they were below 500. Like, it's so bad. Like they have Bryce Harper in his prime. They have Zach Wheeler, who's not getting any younger. They have JT Realmuto, not getting any younger.
But he can still produce. But you guys got to think to the athleticism. I think with JT can really, I think it's really going to help him, stay in the league a lot longer because, well, obviously, I made this comparison too. It's like take Yachty for example. The guy's been there since 2000, give or take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's around there.
The only difference is like loyalty nowadays to teams is like it's hard to come by. I think Yachty, as much as it may sound crazy, like if he I've never said this, but if I do find it crazy if he does get traded to another team, it's like I was like what, yeah, and I don't think he ever will because dude's been known as a Cardinal for forever. Same with his brothers too. Like his brothers were not that bad either. Benji and what was his other brother? Fuck, I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Ah, he had like two other brothers. It was him, Benji. Um, I know him and Benji kind of mess with each other a lot because I remember he actually like put a pack of cheese crackers on
Yeah.
my own place.
Hmm.
It's like, and that's the thing too. Like, no, Yachty's become a better hitter than people would realize. So he's actually going a decent hitter, but slow as hell. But
Yeah.
which is weird. Just like now you see your catches like JT for example, Andrew Knapp, that can run.
Hmm.
But there's some catchers that can actually handle the bat.
Yeah.
Yachty, JT, who else am I forgetting? Buster Posey. Oh my God, Buster Posey actually is going on a power
Oh
surge.
yeah. I thought his career
I thought he
was
was
over.
done. I
Yeah.
think I think after the 20s.
I can't remember what year it was, but I know he got
Because
injured,
I remember he had
and
a thumb
then
injury. I remember
yeah,
one year he had a thumb injury. After the All Star break, his home run numbers were down.
yeah.
I think he finished like 14 at the end of the year though. That's the thing.
Mhm.
It's just like, and he's still. I mean, he's still young, but he's not getting any younger though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think it was like 29, 30 years old. And that's the thing too. Like, I think what did it because I think that hit. I think from like Shearholtz from years ago. I think is what
Yeah.
derailed Buster Posey.
He was like an MVP.
Yeah, exactly. He
Mhm.
was, I think, making the MVP case in that year.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It's just like I still like him though. I mean, despite he may not be getting any younger, but I think now obviously the Giants got Joey Bart coming up, and I think who better to learn from being a catcher, learn a lot of different things than Buster Posey. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people, a lot of younger players can really literally look after.
Hmm.
Oh, that's tough though. That's the thing. It's like who you're gonna. I'm trying to think. I mean, if I were Bryson, I mean, obviously, Bryson Stott is obviously a roommates with Bryce Harper, both Vegas boys. I think there's a lot of and all that. It's just like going back to that. It's just like you said, our ownership. Yes, I know they get like the big players, but it doesn't really change the fact we still have question marks in the rotation, the
Yeah.
bullpen, and center field. Well, center field, maybe possibly left field, maybe
Yeah.
if we're lucky. And the center fielder class is actually going to be very interesting too because Charlie
Hmm.
Blackmon is going to be a free agent.
I don't think he
Uh,
can play center.
see, that's tough. I'm trying to think who else is. I'm trying to think of different outfielder or free agents who that can actually play
There's
center.
not many. There's Michael
I mean,
Conforto. He's a
Jankowski's
cornerback.
not bad though. Like, I mean, he's pretty
Yeah.
decent defensively. I mean, he's a Lancaster native.
Defensively.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Lancaster native. Like, I mean, left field could be a possibility. I think bringing Charlie Blackmon to play left field, but I think other than that, I mean, you can
Yeah.
have Travis Jankowski, and to be honest, like he may not hit for power, but he can beat you in so many other ways, which
Yeah.
people don't really. And I still remember, who did he start with? Padres that one year. Who did Jankowski start with early in his career? It had to be the
Oh,
Padres.
Indians? Padres? I know he was with the Indians.
I'm thinking of the Padres because that's where I'm mostly.
They're playing the Padres right now.
Yeah. Well, why do I even want to bother watching it after that debacle last night?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like catcher. I see. I think. I mean, I think Marshawn may not that be. I mean, as much as people, I don't know though. That's the thing too. Like, we need a solid backup catcher because I don't.
Yeah.
Andrew Knapp's probably not going to give him much. I mean,
Mhm.
defensively, he's okay. He stinks offensively. Like last year, like, even though it was a season, but he went on an offensive power surge. It's like,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he stinks the following
Mhm.
year. It's just like, it's weird. And obviously, Harper's is obviously consistent the last the 3 years that he's
Yeah.
been here.
Like this off season, I'm expecting to see Rafael Marchand be traded. Just because he's a prospect, he's got some hype. But he could be a good defensive catcher. I mean, he doesn't have any pop, but he's gonna be a good defensive catcher, and you can't stick with Andrew Knapp. So I'm interested to see where they go with the catching
Was-
situation.
Yeah, it's not just that. I see. I think the shortstop, the center field problem.
Mhm.
So I think shortstop is probably going, other than the rotation and the bullpen, is I think that should be their main priority.
Yeah,
If
with
the only if Bryson Stott is not ready yet, which
yeah,
I think he will be. I'm not entirely too sure on his track development, but I mean, if you want to, I mean, look, as much as I like Didi, but like I said, the injuries are going. Or he had to go through Tommy John. Some of these injuries that Didi has. It's like how much longer does he have left in the league? Though that's the thing.
yeah. Uh, so Chris Bryant, he's someone that I want. I mean, he's probably going to be tough to sign, and I'm not expecting them to sign him anyway
Never know.
whatsoever. But yeah, you never know. I want him so bad. He can play
Exactly.
first, he can play third, he can play left, and he can play center.
Yeah, which is weird. It's like, but don't get me wrong though. I think as much as I like Alabama, I think Chris Bryant might be a better solution at third base. I
Yeah.
think shortstop. Oh, that's tough though. Like, would you rather go Story or Correa? Because I can't remember who else is a short. What other shortstops are going to be free agents? Because I know those are going to be the two biggest things most teams are going to be wanting.
Yeah, Corey Seager is a free agent too.
I forgot about Corey Seager. Holy Christ, I forgot he was a free agent. I heard.
Yeah.
I've been hearing rumors that his name's been thrown around with us a ton.
Oh, really?
See, I don't mind having Corey Seager because
yeah.
I mean, look, you got. I mean, all of our great shortstops, but I feel like Correa can bring more. But can't me if you want like a consistent hitter. I mean, Corey Seager is the way. I mean, we all know what we saw in the World Series last year and this season. Like, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, then again, I don't think that's really going to hurt the Dodgers that much because it's like they know how to develop their players. So it's and that's and another thing too. Like Clayton Kershaw, for example, we all know he's a Hall of Famer. We know that for a fact. But how much longer does he? How much longer does he have though? That's which is the most questions Dodgers fans should ask.
This might be a hot take, but going into 2022, I don't think the starting rotation really needs another guy. I mean, you got Wheeler and Nola at the top. You got Gibson and Kennedy in the middle. Then Gibson and Eflin in the middle.
The only issue is the number 5 spot.
Yeah, number 5. You can go with Bailey Falter. You can go with Ranger Suarez. You have a lot of options.
I'm kind of want Ranger because
that's
which is tough though because at times he's very electric in the bullpen though. That's the tough thing. It's just like I have to look at from both sides because I'm a utility pitcher myself, so I can do both. Mm-hmm. But most times not. I usually I had the most success coming out of the bullpen. It's just like actually, that's the thing too. Like I don't think there's gonna not be that many pitchers on the free agent market. I know it's gonna be closer heavy and shortstop heavy.
Yeah, it's gonna be relief pitching. You have so many good guys that could go under the radar for the Phillies to grab. I mean, if they wanna chicken out and
the one guy I really wanted the Phillies to snatch up was Josh Stomont from the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, he's so good.
Same with Trevor Rosenthal. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, we fucked up on, and that's the thing too. I feel like we're never going to get Craig Kimbrel anyway because the asking price was a little bit too high. And who the hell do we have to offer? I mean, we have a bad farm system. It's like we really don't have that much. I mean, we have 3 good prospects, maybe 4.
Oh wait, Rhys Hoskins just hit a home run.
And that's the thing too. And as much as I hate to say it, as another position we need to possibly fill is the first base spot because you see the number differences between with Hoskins in the lineup. The Phillies are red hot with him in the lineup.
Yeah,
when he was on the IL,
cold.
We're ice cold, and Brad Miller. As much as I like him, but he stinks. I feel like he needs to go. Well, I mean, he's not going to be going anyway because he's on a 1-year deal.
He plays so many different positions, though.
I think another guy I think the Phillies should at least keep is Ronald Torreyes, in my honest opinion, because I don't really understand. I mean, obviously, he's a Girardi guy and all that. His time in New York, with a lot of other teams, but the way that he's gone about it, and the way that he's been, the production, it's like I'd rather have him have him on the bench because like the dude knows
Yeah.
how. Well, yes
He
and
can
no.
get clutch hits when you need him to.
Exactly. Or if you need to like fill in a spot, like say,
Hmm.
take hypothetically, if say Didi's hurt, you can put him at
Yeah.
short. You can
He's
put
a
him at
very
third.
good depth guy.
Exactly. That's the thing too. Like that's what you really need. There's a lot of things that the Phillies really should need to take a look at. Bench is one of them because I think Matt Joyce, as much as I know he was like another non-roster invitee, I thought he had somebody else. I think he's like 37. So it's like,
Oh yeah,
yes,
he's on the 60-day IL. I don't
yes.
see him doing anything.
But I think Torres should stay. There's a lot of people. I know the only.
Bradley's gonna be a free agent. He should stay. Definitely, he's been elite.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I was, and that's the thing too. Like when he said he likes it here, so I was like, if I'm like seeing fold as a GM, so it's like, better me to lock him up. Well, not from what I see. That's the thing, because it's like he's been very effective out of the. At times he may. I see that. I don't remember very one year he's been that very inconsistent as a reliever.
Yeah, he's just been consistently great out of the bullpen.
He has some struggles. In some outing, in some outings.
He has a high whip, but I think that's only because he was terrible at the beginning of the season, and I think he was playing hurt.
Yeah, and now that he's fully healthy, you'll see this, and he's going back to what he used to be. Throwing 95, 96 on because when he was started with Arizona. But I think when he and it's still, I think him. And I've noticed like the numbers that he's put up. So it's like, it's like this. I don't. At one time, actually, I thought he was going to be a draft bust, but ever since he got moved to the bullpen, numbers it's been so much different. Like it's been like, I guess maybe probably it would be weird though because like I feel like he could have made a case for the Cy Young as a reliever, and I don't know.
So like just talking about like Phillies pitching coming out of the draft. You have Andrew Painter. I think he's gonna be solid. I don't think he's gonna be elite or anything. I just think he's gonna be a solid, good rotation guy. Maybe a 3.
Actually, that's right because we don't know how long the Elfland's going to be there, so we're going to have to look toward. And then you got Mick Abel coming up in the rankings. So
yeah,
actually,
he's great. I love him.
Looking on paper, I think that's going to be a potential, potential dangerous rotation.
Yeah, you also have Hans Kraus, who's doing amazing.
Which is weird because I never really paid attention to it. All I heard about he was just one of the most quirkiest pitchers in the major league, or particularly in the minors, I should say.
Minors. Mm-hmm.
But I think with Spencer Howard, I think we got a good solid return for Spencer Howard.
Oh yeah. At the beginning, the Spencer Howard trade, I was not on board with it. I was just like, you're giving up Spencer Howard, who was like a top 30 prospect,
and a couple unknown prospects in the system. Mm-hmm. But now looking at it from a different perspective, like Kennedy's made a great impact.
Oh yeah,
Gibson as well. So who knows, man? Who knows what the Phillies are going to bring up. Now think about it this way: if we can get a good solid 5, now you're going to have. See, that's tough to worry. Where are you going to put Abel and Painter in the rotation? Do you go 3?
Yeah.
Because we all know, the 1 and 2 are a lock. Is Nola 1 and Wheeler 2. But I kind of feel like I want to put Nola 2 and Zach Wheeler leading the way. Because, see, that's tough because I like both. Because it's like, I'm a little bit hard on Nola because of his mental struggles. Because, even like last night, it's like, this is what we should have expected out of Nola. Almost like, and I've seen this too out of LSU. So you're coming out of one of the toughest conferences in college baseball, one of the other baseball powerhouses. It's like, I don't know. I don't know about that though. That's the thing, which is weird to say. But I'm thinking it could be Nola 1, Wheeler 2, Abel 3. You can have Angel Painter in the 4 spot, and a good solid 5. If you can have a good solid 5 with Abel and Painter up in the major leagues, who knows how dangerous this rotation can be?
Like looking at the rotation, even like now, like if you look at if everyone's healthy, Wheeler, Nola, Eflin, Gibson, Suarez. That is a really, really, really
That is
good
a very good.
rotation.
That's a very good rotation.
And then you have rising up in the minors, Abel, Painter, and Kraus. Those are three very, very good arms.
Exactly. Which
Mhm.
I kind of feel like, and that's the thing. And hopefully, if I'm more Dombrowski and Fold, I need to start looking at more like some more arms to add to the farm system because
Yeah.
we're just so depleted of arms.
Mhm.
Mauricio Rivera, I was never too high on him when the Phillies snatched
Yeah.
him up.
I mean, he's gone now. So.
Well, yeah. So, at one, Krause, I'm really looking forward to see what he can do when he
Yeah.
gets called up to the majors. Same with Painter and Abel, but I don't think that's going to be till 2024, 2025. So that's going
Oh
to
yeah.
so not later.
Late 2023, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I think Abel's probably going to be more late 2023 to 24.
Yeah, and then
I
Painter's
think it's
probably
probably
going
going
to
to
be
be
late
25,
24.
26, somewhere around that range.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of feel like also, I think, and it's not just the player, like the roster thing. You feel it's like different like parts of like the front office, like this. I mean, I know Brian Marvis is pretty doing most of the work. Like you're going to need to add more scouts to it to the staff to that because God forbid, there's going to be someone like a young, we all know, and this is and I kind of like Andrew Painter too because he reminds. I don't think I'm going to comparison to Randy Johnson, but the height and the velocity.
Oh yeah.
is I feel like that's where the people are going to give him the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's like, God, kid 6'7" to like 9. What I don't know where he topped out at. All I know is he just throws gas.
Yeah.
And then when I was keeping my eye on Solomedo, who obviously got drafted in the second round by the Pirates, the comparison that he was getting compared to was Madison Bumgarner because he's a lefty, but he comes like he's like he slingshots it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I can understand that because it's like, I mean, even Bumgarner, it's just like it's weird now, like seeing Bumgarner. I think Bumgarner is still dangerous at his age, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I know this is kind of off topic, but
it's Sports Talk podcast. Like, you can go off topic anytime.
But if the Phillies do decide to sell Nola and Hoskins this offseason, I'd be looking at the Rays. I like Shane Baz. I like Vital Brujan.
Who else?
They got Xavier Edwards.
That's gotta think too. That's gotta start looking at some pictures too from the Rays too. One I would like to see is Peter Fairbanks because,
oof, yeah,
dude, he's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like nowadays you're like seeing pictures with a short arm technique, like a Shane Bieber, Zach Plesac. Yeah. It's like that's gonna be not the fact that he's doing the same thing, but it's doing it. What 96, 97, occasional 99 to the back pocket.
Yeah.
Think about it this way: you're going to have him and Alvarado in the same bullpen together in Phillies pinstripe. But again, it's like that's the thing too. Like, and you also got to think too. Fold also. I mean, if I'm for Fold, like you said, go after the Rays because that's where Sam Fold started. I mean, he's most well known with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Also,
who else is also a free agent from the Rays? All I know is that he's
I'm not sure.
That's tough though because like they've been billing and selling at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the only reason why they got rid of Willie Adames is because it's to bring out Wander Franco.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel that was the reason. I mean, also got to think so. They're also playing in a dome, like who plays in a dome stadium anymore nowadays?
Yeah.
Like the Mariners back in the early '90s, got the Kingdom. It's like, man, mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, back then you probably would have possibly, but nowadays it's like, well, maybe the Blue Jays every now and again, depending on if they want to keep the roof for it. See, and also I think another team I really want to keep I would like to go after, other than the Rays, probably the Blue Jays, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the Blue Jays, even though they traded
Austin Martin,
Austin Martin.
Still, I thought he was a solid. And this is the thing too. This is why I'm always sometimes jealous of the Blue Jays because they're always getting like some like diamond in the rough picks.
Yeah.
Like Austin Martin, when he was at Vanderbilt, which I know is one of the top pitching powerhouses of college baseball, because you got Jack Leiter coming out of there,
Oof.
Kumar Rocker, and I criticized the Mets, and I made a video about the Mets not are and Kumar Rocker not making a deal because of the. I didn't realize Kumar was hurt.
Yeah.
I knew about the elbow injury, but the shoulder injury I didn't know about that until I had to before making that video. So I did a little bit more research. So obviously it was the elbow and shoulder injury.
I was watching draft day and I was like, oh, the Angels are up. No way they pass on Kumar Rocker. And they passed on Kumar Rocker. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but they wanted to get some good pitchers anyway out of that draft anyway. So, I mean,
yeah, they got 20 of them.
Exactly. I mean, I think, God, see, even on draft, I think Texas kind of won the Kumar the sweepstakes for Jack. I was thinking Jack Leiter was going to go number one overall. Henry Davis going one to the Pirates. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. Well, I don't know nothing about the Pirates. All I know is that they're so super bad. It's like they're so desperate to get.
Mm-hmm. I thought that the Pirates were going to go after Leiter or Meyer. That's I thought.
At one point, I had Meyer going one. Well, see, it was tough though. I had Meyer going one, or Jack going first. But obviously, Jack went 2, and I think Meyer went 8 to the Boston. Wait, where was the Boston Red Sox?
I think they were top 5.
In the top 5.
There's no way Marcelo Meyer could have.
All I heard is that Marcelo Meyer was drawing a lot of interest as a high school shortstop.
Yeah,
which is weird. And I forgot what the comparison was, though. That was the thing. All I know is because of Jack. I mean, obviously here in Philly, we had his dad Alf in the early '90s. We also had Mark. God, I still remember this Mark Leiter Jr. We only had him for a year, and that didn't work out. I'm surprised I still remember his name. Like, I mean, obviously the Leiter name because now you got Jack coming into Texas. It's like,
Boston was a 4th.
Okay, so it's a fourth pick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, taking a catcher I don't think that's strange, but for the Pirates' sake, it's like, why would you take a catcher first? But I do understand, you don't have Cervelli's done his career. I mean, I don't know who else you even have it as a catcher nowadays. Because that's the only one I can think of. And it's already bad. Well, actually, at one point you had what's his face, Russell Martin.
Yeah,
I forgot. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I feel like he's been forgotten.
Yeah, I forgot he existed, honestly.
Because yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, Pirates had Russell Martin. They have some. At one point, the Pirates had some great players. Russell Martin.
Oh yeah,
Andrew McCutchen.
McCutchen, he was the MVP.
Yeah, which is who else was there? God, I still remember God, I don't know if you're into someone
Gregory Polanco. They had him when he was good.
Yeah, like him, tripping against the Cubs. It's like I'm thinking to myself, like, how the fuck do you trip on grass? Like, how do you do that? And not to mention this was on national television too against the Chicago Cubs. I was like.
Oh, yeah.
But the good thing is he didn't get hurt, which is really. I guess maybe if you're running too fast, he probably one. I mean, I don't know though. That's the thing. I was hoping
he's making $25 million to slip on grass. I honestly think that's his contract.
Well, I don't know. This is like if the trade deadline. There was a few names that I want to hope the Phillies would have snatched. Starling Marte was one of them.
Oh yeah. Oh, imagine if he was in the.
God, now you have Harper.
Phillies pinstripes.
Actually, I see. I don't know. Could you slot him in center field? That's the thing. I don't know. I think you could. Price? No, Starling Marte.
Yeah, I think he is a center fielder.
Man, I know he's killing it over in Oakland.
He spent like over 400.
It's like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, gosh. And look. I'll give some credit, getting both starting and bullpen help all in one deal, which is good.
Yeah.
I feel like that was not enough, in my honest opinion.
I heard someone from the someone from the Phillies, like someone who, I don't know what it's called, but I know there's someone who worked like within the Phillies organization, and he said that throughout the entire trade deadline they were trying to get Brian and Kimbrel. Imagine if they got Brian and Kimbrel, but
Oh,
they said they couldn't do it because the Cubs wanted like Bohm,
Yeah,
Howard,
Cubs,
and
the
Stott.
Cubs had a high asking price.
Yeah, rightfully so, but
I mean, if you're the GM, I mean, would you pay that a high asking price for
No.
one of the better? I see. I said no because as much as I want Kimbrel, and despite obviously having a bad year last year, but if you took that bad year away, I mean, this dude has been a solid reliever for most of his career.
he's a really good reliever, and he's a really good arm out of the pen. He's just not worth Mick
Nah, because I feel, and I think I think Sam Fuld actually and Dave Dombrowski actually did a pretty good job of not paying that price.
Oh yeah, imagine if they did that.
Oh, I mean, Phillies fans will revolt against it, and going to the Cubs, it's like here and say, Bryant is gone, Rizzo is gone, but fucking Baez, like it's like what are you doing?
They have no one. They have no one left.
I mean, you got Wilson Contreras, who's one of their better players, one of their fourth better players. When Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo are still there, but other than that, I mean, like they got a bunch of no names though. That's the thing. I mean, well, actually, you still got Kyle Hendricks though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
from that World Series squad. Who else is? I thought Alec Mills is an okay guy for them in the rotation at times.
I like Zach Davies.
Zach Davies, I wouldn't mind having Zach Davies as the number 5 guy in the rotation.
Mm-hmm. He's not terrible.
He's not
bad. Better than Moore, Velasquez, and Chase Anderson. So
well, at least all 3 of them are going to be gone. So
yeah,
and that's the thing, John. I was thinking because I mean I play a shit ton of MLB The Show, so I do like these who did I trade it? I forgot who I traded. All I know is the show was MLB The Show 21. They didn't have Matt Morris. I think fucking God. So I traded Chase Anderson away, but I can't remember who I got. I got a better return on it too because he was kind of struggling for me. So I was like, that makes sense. But yeah, see that's the thing too. Like now, see now, okay, so we're gonna there's gonna be a lot. This is gonna be an interesting off season because we're gonna address the shortstop.
Yeah.
We need a bet. I don't know if you're and Freddie. See, that's the thing too. I'm kind of if Freddie Freeman doesn't want to sign with the Braves.
I heard you talking with Frank about Freddie Freeman.
Yes, I have because I love Freddie Freeman. I'm a huge Freddie Freeman guy. Because him and Rizzo, if you put them together, like that's an easy comedy skit in a nutshell.
Yeah,
that. It's like Rizzo, or what was it? Frederick. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, see, I know. I feel like Freddie Freeman's probably going to be a tough one because I feel like he is going to resign with the Braves.
Yeah,
that's just a no doubt.
I don't think he's leaving. But if he would, I mean, I wouldn't complain if the Phillies.
I wouldn't complain. And look, and this is the thing too. Like, I mean, at one point, as I was like, it's like I don't think a Hoskins is not going to bring that hype. Because I remember one point in time with the Phillies, like Hoskins and De La Cosa were bringing so much hype to the organization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then obviously called up Hoskins. Cousins, obviously Dylan Cousins never worked out, but Hoskins, obviously brought some of that hype with them.
Yeah, Hoskins has been productive.
I mean, he is, but it's just like we need someone who's a bit. At times, he can be not good defensively, but I'll say this, but and that's the thing too. Like like you said, like we said, having not a true first baseman, having someone like Bohm, or Miller play first, it really does hurt us in the long run. Well, not say long run, but in certain games, I think having Bohm getting sent down, I think
that's the right move.
I think it was because it's like number one, like I think. This was his sophomore season, so I was like, I'm not really too hard. I mean, I have been a little bit harsh on him. It's like, he stinks. It's like, as a hitter and all that. But now I'm looking at it. It's just, okay. So if he sent him down, at least get the work the proper work. Who knows? The sky's still the limit with him. Like, I don't know that. That's the thing too. I feel like we gotta rush him just a tad bit sooner than expected.
Yeah.
But then again, we didn't really have a true third baseman. So I was like,
yeah,
I don't know.
What I would do if I was whoever's sending people down and calling them up, I would send Bohm down, give him some work in left, let Kutch walk. If he succeeds in left, which I think he will, he's athletic. He's shown at third base.
He's got the height to play the outfield.
Mm-hmm. See how he does there. If he succeeds, move him to left, let Kutch walk. And then maybe if he doesn't succeed, then
I guess use him. Put him on the trading block.
Yeah, you can't use him if he's not good in left. So.
But so hypothetically, but if he does succeed, his transition to left, maybe, and then if he can be the power hitter that we know he can be.
Yeah.
I think we could. I think in the long term, I think that's really going to pay off. But like you said, you have to look to see if he succeeds. Because fly balls, I don't think that's going to be a problem for Bohm, because I think he knows how to track fly balls.
With his pop-ups, he looks so comfortable.
It does. It's like I'm thinking, so put him in the outfield, because. But the thing is like how well he's going to field in grounders, like of a base hit on the ground, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the. But again, you got a whole big. You got like a glove about like 12 and 3/4. Like you can't miss that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's really going to be a problem for Bohm, because I think he's already athletic. I mean, Chris Bryant has. Take Chris Bryant. Guy's 6'7", but athletic enough. But he actually has done pretty well in the outfield for the Cubs in years past. It's like,
yeah.
I think if I were Bohm, I would look at that, and work with the outfielders to get the right work he needs in terms of to develop more.
Yeah.
But like we said, it's all a waiting game with Bohm.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to trade Hoskins, Bohm's proven that he doesn't feel better at first. Like he's terrible at both of them.
Exactly.
He's got like 5 starts at first, and he's been terrible. He's been terrible at first. And when there's a pop up to him, he goes to the exact area that he needs to. He doesn't rush. He doesn't do anything. If he feels a ground ball compared to when he
it's a pop
up. Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different situation. This is and this is why I think at times I really don't want to trade Hoskins because of the production he's been actually pretty some good production.
He hit a home run today.
Exactly. It's like God. It's tough though, because it's like there's going to be some good first basemen out on the market. It's like God. It's like on the one hand, do you want to keep Hoskins and some decent production, or do you want to upgrade it to an all-star first baseman who actually can give you 30, 40 home runs a season?
Hoskins is doing that.
Exactly. Oh, that's right. He's going, and that's the thing too. But say if Hoskins doesn't really get that too much, it's just the one next guy I would have if Brady Freeman was available was Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, I don't know. I see him re-signing with the Bronx. Honestly,
it's weird because now I see he's being so. And then again, also got to think the Bronx also has a short porch and right, so it's like there a lot of lefties are exposing that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's another thing too. And I've been a little, even though growing up a Yankees fan, I still remember Brett Garner was still around in the early back then. It's just like I'm thinking to myself, how's this guy still around though? That's the thing. Well, then again, he also got Yachty for the Cardinals the last 20-something seasons. It's so it's really nothing new. But it's funny because I've seen now Yankee fans are kind of being critical of Aaron Boone and the way that he goes about it.
Yeah. Everyone wants him fired there.
That's at one point, yes, because it's you really don't need a sliding Brett Garner almost every single day in the lineup. maybe use him off the bench or like a defensive replacement if you have to. But I don't think Brett Gardner is not the player that he once was. Like,
Yeah, he's definitely fallen off.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, and yeah, I mean Andrew Velasquez. I thought that was a pretty nice thing for him to experience. You know, homegrown kid in the Bronx, and you know, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of teams have some pretty good talent around. I mean, unlike us, on the other hand, you know, we have hardly any. And you know,
Yeah,
over our franchise history, I mean, we had some,
we're terrible at developing prospects.
and that's the thing too. And this is why I kind of feel like this is why I think Brian Barber needs more. And
Yeah,
actually, and that's the thing too. And that's why I think having like old players like Larry Bowa to help, you know, at least try to get some development out of them. I think
Mhm.
you should start, you know, bringing back some old players like, let's see who's the one. I guess maybe outfield wise, you could probably bring back Victorino. And I think he was one of the. Actually, that's the question though. Like, who we haven't really had a decent center field. I mean, I think he could be do pretty well as a player as a development personnel.
Yeah.
Who else? I guess maybe bring back Hunter Pence every now and again. I mean,
Mhm.
he was one of my, and that's the people often comparing me because it's like we're all unorthodox in the way we go about
Yeah.
things. And that's why I'm thinking I thought J.A. had, you know, I mean, he's still going at it, but I thought he actually was pretty solid here in Philly.
He was definitely solid.
I think if you really want to bring him back, I mean, at best right now is the five. Because I think the last, I think from like 2008 to 2011, we had like one of the better starting rotations during that time span.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
2011,
yeah,
you had
He had,
Roy
like,
Oswald, you had
three aces.
like three. It's like if the Phillies can do right, you know, develop Andrew Painter and Mick Abel, there's a possibility we can have four aces
Oh yeah.
because. And at one point, you know, I was very critical of when Eflin came to Philly in that trade.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean,
now we're seeing what he's really made of.
he hasn't been great. He's been solid. I mean,
He's a
4
solid
ERA
three.
guy.
I mean,
Is he sub 3 now? I don't think
I
he
think
is.
six. I might have to. Yeah, I think he might be sub 3 the last time before he went on the IL.
He is 4.17.
That's not horrible.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
Because I still remember in years past, like some of the Phillies pitchers that we had in like the 3 had like a little bit of, almost towards a 4. So it's like nothing new. That's like a typical 3,
Yeah.
like a 3. Not to say typical, but I mean it can't be worse than what some of the other pitchers that we have.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait and see what the Phillies have to offer or what they're going to be doing in the all season. You know,
Yeah.
about
I'm hyped for it.
Oh,
you know?
definitely.
They
But
can.
for now, I'm just looking forward to football season at this point.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Eagles aren't going to do anything, but it's football season.
It is football season. Well, anyway, yeah, man, we got to start doing this more often. You know, bring you on a lot more
Yeah.
on the channel. But yeah, I mean, I want to say thank you for coming on coming on and just talk for the hour and a half.
Mhm. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem.
Mhm.
And look, if
All
anyone
right.
thinking about doing content, you can always hit me up because I've learned a lot over like the last 6 months and stuff like that as a small content creator. So I mean,
Yeah.
right. But yeah, so well, yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, and I'll guess maybe we could try to at least do some. You go. I guess you can probably just email me because I don't think you ever have
Yeah.
social media.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just email me when you're always up.
Okay.
Want to do something. Get together. I'm always down.
Yeah.
But other than that, guys, this is from Robert from the Philly Sports Podcast and my, I guess FWA, or do I call you Anthony? Is that your name?
No.
No. Is it? What's your? I forgot what your name was.
Did I tell you my name?
I don't think I did. No, I forgot.
No.
I think I forgot to ask.
All right, yeah, I'm Miles.
Oh my. Well,
Did I say that? I forget.
no. Oh, that's right. It was in your email name. I forget.
Yeah.
I tend to forget.
Hmm.
Oh, Phillies are up 3-1 now.
Oh, nice.
Um, somebody subscribed. Okay, who's subbed to me? Hell, I gotta check my notifications. Anthony Fasano. I don't know who the fuck that is, but hey, look, I'll take that subscription any day of the week. And then before I end the stream, I actually did. I actually did a rare soccer video.
Oh.
Because I followed the women's national team every now and again, but with the drama surrounding between, uh, fuck it, I'll just say it. Between former goalkeeper Hope Solo and Megan Rapinoe, there's some drama going between those two.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, I highly recommend you hit to check out that video and under the articles I've linked underneath. But Miles, I mean, thank you for coming on,
Hmm.
and guys, I'm out.
See ya.